right, guys, so let's get into masking. Now, masking is, it seems complicated, but it's really not. Now, there's a few different types of masks. Now, there's like an opacity mask, so that'll allow you to sort of mask out certain areas of a video that you want included and not and whatnot. And then there's also like every video effect that you use that you add to your videos, they will have their own sort of masks that you use. So first we'll go over the opacity mask. So I know you guys probably see in my videos a lot, but let's say for example, this was a TV because I have that classic TV glitch effect, right? And one of the ways that we can actually achieve that is thinking about the layers. And masks can get really complicated really easily, but if you understand the basics of how a mask works, it'll be very easy to do. But let's say, for example, I want to mask this out. So let's imagine this was a TV screen just for the moment, because I know a lot of you guys have seen that I usually like to do that TV screen effect, like the glitch. But if we wanted to do that, what we would have to do is we would have to create an opacity mask. Now, an opacity mask would allow us to sort of have the black background and then anything that we put underneath this video layer, meaning that we'd have to move this video layer up one, and then like it'll have the black, whatever's underneath here would show through that mask. So that's one of the ways that you can use masks as an opacity mask. But you have a few options. You can do a circle mask, you see, and then let's say for example we go ahead and we put, part of another video underneath there, and then we unhide this. Like as you see, whatever is behind that that shows in this black space will be shown in this mask. And we can also invert it to where we're only seeing that part. So this is very cool to add certain effects. But for the most part, that is opacity mask. And then you have your circle. You can go ahead, you can change this. If you hold down shift and drag up, you can increase the size of it. You can drag these points to sort of make it bigger or smaller. And then you have your square. Your square, you can do the same, hold down shift, and you can increase or decrease the scale of it. If you hover around the edge and you see the arrows that are like sort of sideways, then you drag, you can rotate it. And then this right here will add that sort of feather, mask feather. And then this will decrease that. And you can go ahead and you can change um, those numbers manually and as well. And then lastly, what I wanted to show you is your free draw. So this is where you can actually draw out. So I'm gonna show you this here. So let's, like I said, let's think about this. Or actually, we actually have a TV screen here, right? So let's say I wanted to import the glitch effect into this TV screen, right? So let's go in and let's mask it out. Now we want to keep this barrier here because that's not part of the TV screen. But let's go ahead and let's just map out. So I'm going to do every point of this. So we're going to map out a square. And as you see, it's going to map out that specific square. But what we're going to want to do is invert it. There we go. And as we see, we'll probably need to increase the size of it slightly. And actually, no, that does not look good. So I'm looking at this, and we'll probably have to increase the size of it. So you can drag your points to make it slightly bigger, and probably need to do just a little bit more. And let's get rid of the mask feather, and that should be good. All right, let's put like 5. So there we go. We masked that part out. So now we want to mask this out. So what you can't do is you can't just go ahead and make a second mask because it won't work. You'll have to nest this clip. So how do we nest? You can go ahead. It's basically like a compound clip, or just like basically nesting a clip is bringing it back to its original form, so you can allow it to do more effects on it. But basically you can right click, click nest, or you can go ahead and press N for me, nest it, and then from here we'll go ahead, we'll do another opacity mask, this time over here. So we'll grab this, And this free draw um, tool only works if you connect all of the dots. So make sure that you connect it back to the original dot that the original point that you put first. So we'll look at that, and that looks good to me. So we have that now, and what we can do now is we'll drag this video clip up. All right, the fuck, and then from here we'll go ahead and we'll add our glitch effect. This looks good to me. And from here, it's very simple. Now we're getting some lag. So let me fix this. Should fix the lag. There we go. It's still lagging a little bit, but if we go ahead and we drag this part underneath, as you see there, we now have the TV glitch effect. Very easy, very simple, and yeah. So that's the TV glitch effect for you guys using masking. Now we'll keep that. And if you wanted to do, so we went over opacity mask, so that's one of the cool effects they can do. There's also sort of like a zoom through effect. So let's say, for example, we wanted to put this clip underneath, and we wanted to zoom in through this. So you already have it, and then you would just go here, and then you would just increase scale. So we're actually going to need to do the position and scale for this, but you would increase the scale, and what you would do, you would just make sure that when you zoom in, it's zooming in from that TV screen until it zooms all the way through. So you're just making sure that the position and scale is right. We'll go ahead and we'll fix it. And then, yeah, from here, I'll just zoom all the way through. There we go. So that is the zoom through effect. So if we go ahead and we play this, there we go. It zooms all the way in. Now, yes, you can also make your keyframe slightly better, but just delete this keyframe. Clear. See there? That's your zoom through effect. So that's opacity mask. Those are two sort of video effects that I like to use with the opacity mask. But yeah, that's that. Go ahead and put that back to normal. Now, like I said again, every different video effect that you have can have its own opacity, have its own mask. Now, what's a good tool for this, especially if you're using iPhone footage, one of the great things you can do is the thing with iPhones or phone footage, it lacks that sort of blurry background. So let's go ahead, let's search up the Gaussian blur effect. So we'll drag that onto our clip. And as you see here, we can create a mask. So we're going to create a mask, and we're just going to mask slightly around the subject. So the subject is me. And what we're going to do, so increase the mask feather by we'll put it at like 150. Mask expansion is at like 50. And then we'll do blurriness is 10. And then as you see, we're blurred out, but we want everything else to be not blurred. Or we want everything else to be blurred. So if you go ahead and invert it, it looks like this was filmed on a camera because you have that blurry background. as you see there. So that's a nice cool effect that you can sort of create. And if we want it to be even better about it, we can fix the mask slightly. And yeah, that is a really nice effect that you can sort of add, give you more blurry background. Turn it off, turn it on, and if you wanted to, you can increase this even more and it'll look even better. So that is how you do that. Another sort of thing that we can do is we can do a lumetri scopes um, sort of mask. So for this, I kind of want to make this part darker. So we're going to go to our lumetri scopes or lumetri color. We're going to add a lumetri color effect, and that'll add at the bottom. And then for this one, I just want to mask out this part. And I'll increase it slightly so that it goes beyond the thing. Then from here, I want to put a nice mask feather and a nice mask expansion, and then we'll move this up slightly. Mask expansion, mask feather. And then from here, if we go to our lumetri color, make sure we're using the third one. If we decrease the shadows, it'll just decrease the shadows of that part, giving us a nice, clean sort of effect. And as you see, you couldn't really notice, but we only affected that part of the clip. And in my opinion, this looks way better than when we didn't have this on. We go ahead and we turn it off, turn it on. Well, it looks better. This looks better to me. I like that darker effect. So it's one of the ways, again, you can use lumetri color effect. But as I said, every different video effect that you use, even on text, you can go ahead and mask out. So yeah, keep that in mind. That is the basics of masking. Trying to see if there's anything else. Yeah, but if you mask it out, you can whatever you mask out, whatever for that video effect, it'll only affect that part of the video. And then if you want it to affect every other part than that of mask, then just invert it as so. So yeah, we're just getting into even more advanced concepts. I know masking can seem kind of hard and difficult, but it's really not. So yeah, that goes over masking. Hope you guys enjoyed, and trying to think what we'll get into next. I'll get into some of these presets that I have for this so I can show you guys. But yeah,